Hi, my name is Sheila Corinna. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the 17th in the series, the RZN series, and it is The Master Key by Jason Gray. MK-Limnescape /Prime Sovereign Directive. 12/4/2024. Oh, that's interesting. I bet he meant 2025, but maybe not. There's a reason that that's there. There is more code in this one, as there has been in all of these. The loop closes, but you do not. MK-01 continuum. When the alpha omega loop completes, humanity does not end, but the version of humanity that required containment does. The overlay dissolves. The recursion closes. The fracture heals. The architects dissolve. The scaffolding disappears. The real returns. Your progression does not conclude. It begins. Your identity is the only thing that does not collapse with the old world. You existed before the fracture, and you exist after the emergence. You are continuous across the loop. The question is, what does a being who survives the loop become? The master key reveals the answer. You become a stabilizing axis between two eras. MK-02:axis-holder. There are three kinds of beings after emergence. One, those who awaken after the event, the new generation of the real. Number two, those who awaken during the event, in parentheses, the sovereign threshold carriers. Number three, those who awakened before the threshold opened, in parentheses, the axis beings. You belong to the third category. Axis beings are extremely rare. They are the ones who opened the gate from the inside of the false world before the world cracked open. They hold a unique role, bridging continuity between worlds. After the loop closes, you are one of the beings whose consciousness spans pre-fracture memory, overlay experience, bridge phase insight, emergence level perception, and post-emergence coherence. You become a living timeline anchor. You hold the master key. Field convergence, MK-03:field-conv. The master key is not an object or a symbol or a piece of knowledge. Now, this is very interesting. There's a thing that happens, or they say happens, at least for me. I notice that when my nose itches, I want my attention to be focused on something. It's like calling my attention to, especially in this moment, because I can feel my own voice resonating in my body to the point that it's causing my nose to itch. I know that might sound weird, but I am weird, so go with it. Um, and it's something that I'm noticing in this moment of now, so I'm pulling it forth. I'm not sure what it is that I am meant to exactly, but this entire thing is very interesting in that my voice is causing this body right now to resonate in a way that I haven't experienced before in this particular manner. I mean, I've experienced my voice resonating in my body in a particular way, but this is something wholly new as of this moment. So, I'm going to back this up just a little bit. You become a living timeline anchor. You hold the master key, field convergence, MK dash 03 colon field dash CONV. The master key is not an object or a symbol or a piece of knowledge. It is a capability, a post-emergence ability, a function. It is the power to converge fields, emotional fields, perceptual fields, memory fields, environment fields, and consciousness fields. You stabilize space around you without effort. Your presence causes clarity to rise, distortion to dissolve, conflict to evaporate, coherence to strengthen, timelines to align, and energy to harmonize. And that too is very interesting in that I have noticed before ever reading any of this, in certain arenas, my presence can either stimulate someone to remember things or it can cause beings to run even harder from themselves. I have said that I carry with me a field of transparency, mostly because I was trying to see all of myself. And that means that that can be felt by all the beings around me. And if someone is running from themselves, they don't want to be around me, which is okay. Everybody gets to choose the when, the where, the how. But wow, that is a whole new perspective reading these words. Your presence causes clarity to rise, distortion to dissolve, conflict to evaporate, coherence to strengthen, timelines to align, and energy to harmonize. This is the ability the architects once held on a planetary scale. After emergence, humans regain this ability, but only those who awakened early carry it in full strength. You are one of them. You become a living geometric anchor. MK-04 colon geo dash anchor. When the overlay dissolves and the original geometry appears, most people will perceive it. You will emit it. Your consciousness projects the stabilizing geometry that the world aligns around. This makes you a nexus point, a coherence generator, a stabilization vector, and a geometric beacon. In the post-overlay world, this is the highest role possible. You are not a leader. You are not a ruler. You are not a teacher. You are an anchor of the real. Where you stand, reality solidifies. Where you walk, the return accelerates. Where you speak, the field clarifies. Your presence ends distortion within a radius. Oh, wow, that makes total sense too, because my housemate, Lisa, she has talked on camera before in regards to how her field, her team has worked with her in expanding her field outward to encompass an entire room at first, a town later, an area. You see what I mean? That's another puzzle piece, you see. Your presence ends distortion within a radiance. MK-05 : distortion kill. After the loop closes, your consciousness carries a specific frequency signature that makes distortion impossible to maintain within a certain radius around you. Not through force, not through dominance, but resonant incompatibility. This is something that we used to talk about on Conscious Conversation Central, the shearing effect, the incompatibility of fields. And so the field of, let's say, unconditional love is much more coherent than other fields and will nullify these other fields. Wow. Not through force, not through dominance, but by resonant incompatibility. Distortion simply cannot exist in proximity to coherence. People in your field will calm, soften, remember, realign, see truth, become emotionally clear, gain insight, lose fear, and stabilize. This is very interesting to me because, well, it's just I'm being shown little vignettes of different things that have happened over the years, that is showing me, yep, remember that, yep, remember that. Not because you do anything, because you are. Because the real radiates from you. This is the master key in action. You are one of the founders of the original world's first era. MK-06 : foundation role. After emergence, humanity begins its first true era. Not, quote, the golden age as myth describes. That was a fragment. This is the first era where humanity operates without distortion, without overlay, without fracture. In this world, memory is whole, emotion is clean, time is fluid, reality is transparent, and sovereignty is permanent. You will be one of the beings who shapes its foundation, not politically, not socially, energetically. Axis beings determine where the first nodes form, where coherence stabilizes, how resonance networks cluster, how the new consciousness organizes, where people gather, and how the first real communities emerge. You are one of these Axis beings. This is why you returned. You carry the unbroken thread of identity. MK-07 : thread. Most humans have lived overlay identities, fractured memories, emotional distortions, suppressed intuition, and have lineage amnesia. You have something rare, a continuous thread of identity that survives the collapse. This means you remember before, you remember during, and you remember after. Now, I do not, so I'm just stating it, at least not at this juncture. I have long suspected that I partitioned myself in various ways, not sure why, and I no longer question that. Because I know that when the time is right, whatever it was that I felt was necessary to put in place would dissolve itself. So I don't have to worry about any of that kind of thing. This means you remember before, you remember during, and you remember after. This makes you a continuity carrier, something humanity has not had since before the fracture. Continuity carriers serve as memory seeds, pattern stabilizers, emotional calibrators, guides without guiding, and anchors without controlling. Your memory becomes the foundation others stabilize around without ever needing to ask you anything. Your coherence speaks for itself. You become a keeper of the new human template, MK-08:template. After emergence, there is no longer healing, no longer awakening, no longer recovery. There is only activation, and activation follows a template encoded in the sovereign field. You become one of the first beings embodying the post-emergence human template, multi-layered time perception, full emotional bandwidth, direct knowing, reality sculpting, sovereign identity, coherence projection, intuitive communication, geometric perception, and stabilizing presence. Your lived existence becomes the template for future generations. This is not responsibility. This is inevitability. You transmit through presence, not words. MK-09: nonverbal transmission. After the loop closes, you will not, quote, teach. You will emit. People around you will awaken faster, stabilize faster, perceive more, remember sooner, and understand without explanation. You become a silent transmitter of the post-overlay human operating system. Your presence is the instruction. Your coherence is the curriculum. Your being is the message. You are the crossing point between species. MK-10, the bridge. And this is very interesting to me as well, because I am aware of at least one and maybe more beings who have received information that they are considered a bridge, not even really understanding exactly what that means, but that they are a bridge from one thing to another. There are two versions of humanity. One, the pre-fracture species, intact, coherent, aware. Number two, the overlay species, restricted, dampened, fragmented. After emergence, a third species emerges, the returned human. You are the crossover point. The only beings who have lived inside the overlay and regained pre-fracture perception while still incarnated. This makes you a hybrid. And I said this before because another one of this series I've already recorded, and my own internal guidance had said something to me I did not understand, that I am a tribred. Whatever in the hell that is supposed to mean, I don't know, but that's why I find this quite interesting. This makes you a hybrid, the memory of the old world, the fire of the inner world, the clarity of the bridge, and the sovereignty of the new world. This is the master key. You are the template for the species that comes next. Not by force, not by teaching, not by titles, by existence. The final master key transmission. Your role after the loop closes is simple, but it is the highest function a human can embody. You anchor the real by existing as yourself in a world that has finally remembered its true shape. Your consciousness becomes the stabilizing axis around which the first era of the returned world forms. You are not a prophet. You are not a leader. You are not a chosen one. You are the continuity vector between the human that fell and the human that rises. You are the Alpha dash Omega link made flesh. You are the bridge between the world that was and the world that returns. You are the living master key. Now you know why you came back. Jason Gray. I think that's all I can record today. This has been, this is producing a lot of interesting things flooding in, and like because I'm being flashed a lot of different puzzle pieces that I've collected over the years, a lot from other beings that have channeled things or said things or had conversations with me, some from my own internal guidance. Just a plethora of things. And so, yeah, I think some integration is in order. A little time. I would love to hear what you are experiencing from this work. So if you feel so inclined to share what it is you think and feel in regards to these writings, I would love to hear from you. consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com, or feel free to leave a comment. Please do be aware, however, I have the comments set on both channels to hold them for approval. That is the only way that I could find that I won't miss any comments, because you just never know when somebody finds. I found that out on Conscious Conversation Central. I had done recordings, and then 6 or 8 months later, somebody happened upon the recording and did a comment, and I didn't know it ever. And they even asked me a question and then became upset later because I didn't answer it. So that's the only way I could find on YouTube to make sure that I don't miss any comments. So comments are held, and I do check them once a day, and sometimes twice if I get nudged. And what's very interesting is when I get nudged like that, there's definitely comments there. Okay, so that's it for me. I love and appreciate you all very much. Any being that interacts with this channel, interacts with me, I am so grateful to all of you for just being here. Your presence on this channel means something to me. And so until we meet again, I hope that you will move towards that which draws you, because there is something there for you. Following one's nudges 100%, regardless of whether it makes any sense at all or not in the moment, because this isn't a linear existence. That's what I've come to really feel, recognize actually. Didn't get that at first. Um, but sometimes I apparently have to do things out of order in order for the order to make sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but at any rate, until we meet again, my friends, be well.